Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And here we start one more time in the garden because it's a lovely day. So I hope you guys enjoyed my last previous videos on the DIY project and also my reaction and what I thought about the project. In today's video we're going to find out where the budgies are, and I'm going to show you in detail where I have been keeping them in these last few months. So let's get into today's video. So before we start, it's actually evening, so it's time for the turtles to get their food. So let's quickly do that before we get in straight. I'm not going to take too long, just going to go straight into the video. I'm just going to feed the turtles and we get into it. So just before we start, I actually want to explain a little bit on, my thoughts on this, of where they're staying. So during the first few weeks of, making that DIY project, I found it that the budgies needed, a bit more space. As the colony was growing, I was getting more budgies, and so I found out that, growing the colony and not having enough space was a no-no. So I decided to divide my shed into half and make half of the shed the budgies, and this is what we are going to show you in today's video. Now, bearing in mind, I live in a rented house, so we pay rent and we're not really allowed pets inside, right inside. Now, what I did was I brought them outside, which is a bit risky because you can get, a bit of, temperature changes and so on and so forth. But I did spend quite a lot of time and quite a bit of money on this shed. Now, this could be an idea for people who are having the same problem as me, not able to have pets inside, but I can guarantee you that if you are in a rented home and you move them into something that I'm going to show you in a few moments, that you're going to see a big difference in the way your budgies will react. Now, I'm saying this because in the cage they were, which was the DIY project, they weren't really happy, they weren't really active, they couldn't do, they didn't really fly around, and that they stayed in the perches. And I noticed that, and I thought to myself, okay, this is kind of bad for them, because they deserve, to spread their wings, they deserve to, move around and have fun. But I found that in this DIY project that they didn't really do that. So I'm not saying that the cage was rubbish and you shouldn't do it. It's a good idea for small, 1 or 2 birds, but in my case, as my colony was growing, more babies and all sorts, I found it that no, I can't keep them in this cage because it's too small. And I'm against keeping them in small, I'm against keeping 10 birds in one small cage, because it's just cruel. Imagine you and your family and you had 10 people and you stuck them in one room. How would you feel? Exactly the same way. So yeah, I made this for them, and I see a big difference in the way they're acting. I see a big difference in generally the way they're chirping around and screaming. It's completely different to where they were. So yeah, enough bragging about just here explaining and bragging about, but yeah, and also if you guys are wanting to get more birds and all sorts, it's a recommendation, it's an idea. You can stick them in your shed, but make sure that you have, you do the correct installments and which is what I did here. So I sticked a bunch of this insulation, because if you live here in the UK, it gets super cold, sometimes -1, -5, and that's the correct path to kill your birds. So a lot of insulation. Make sure that it's warm, fairly warm. It's at least above 7-8 degrees above that, which is completely fine in here. I'm also going to do another project which is going to include solar panels, solar power in the shed, all to do with, you know, heat lamps and you know, having lighting in your shed. So but that's going to be down the line during this year. So let's get in and let me show you around the new bird cage. So guys, let me show you where they are. I want to welcome you now to my new budgie, my new shed flight cage. Let's see. Here you go. Welcome. So there were a lot of differences between this cage and that cage. I wouldn't call them problems, but I would call them disadvantages of having this cage. And in the rest of this video, we're going to follow them from the food to the budgie themselves. So let's do it. So the first disadvantage of having this cage was the amount of food I had. So every week I had to top up their food bowls, and it was a pain in the ass, let's say. It was a pain because you know, having to worry about food and all the mess they made was a big problem. Here I had to clean the cage every once in a while, so every other day. So let's say Monday to Wednesday and to Friday and to Sunday and so on and so forth. And you know, it's tiring, and I guess it's normal because when you take on a responsibility to look after animals, you know, you have to, you know, keep it, and you have to keep going, and you have to be responsible for the actions you do. So in this case, I had to be responsible for the actions of me looking after budgies, if you get what I mean. But I wanted to find a way to actually reduce the amount I had to clean. So instead of having to clean every other day, in this cage I have to clean every week. So every Saturday I clean. Today's Saturday. Every Saturday I clean, which is cool because it gives me time the rest of the week to figure out new videos, figure out, you know, better stuff for them. And also regarding the food, I have a 2 kilo seed hopper. So it was custom made by a couple of people on Facebook, I know. I'll link the stuff down below. Pretty awesome, UK sales only. Awesome 2 kilo feed hopper, which is just perfect. As you can see on the screen, it holds 2 kilo, and all the seed shells are separated to the bottom. So whenever your budgie eats, it goes to a tray on the bottom, as you can see just down below. And every time they eat, or every time they spill a bit of seed, which is normal because usually budgies pick through the seed to choose their favorites. So and here I get that a lot. So nothing goes to waste. All the seeds go, all the seeds that are thrown away, I replant them. So, and they feed off the fresh, you know, vegetation that grows out from the seeds. So that's a pro. A big pro actually, because I had this problem of where the seed all went to the floor on this cage, the cage they were before, and it was a big problem, you know, and it was a waste of money because, you know, a lot of food was being thrown away due to them picking their favorites. So that's a big pro. I'm also using a chicken feeder from Pets at Home. You can really get this anywhere, from Amazon, eBay, and it does well. I did modify it a little bit, so I did break off the flaps some of the flaps so we can get more food flow, because this is for chickens. Chickens usually have a stronger peck, so every time they peck, the food vibrates. But you know, seeming as it's budgies, the seeds are also smaller than corn, and it's a bit difficult for the food to flow. So what I did, I cut some of the flaps, and which made the food flow easier for them, so meaning they have a fresh, constant supply of food coming in. So big advantage also with the seed hopper and the chicken feeder is that I've been a month without refilling them. So I've been going a month without refilling them, which is a big pro. So if one day you want to go, you know, if a weekend or something to, you know, a friend's house or family member's house, or maybe even on holiday, a week max. I say a week max because, you know, you need to have a constant supply of fresh water. If you are going on holiday, I would suggest, you know, researching a way of getting, you know, an automatic refiller or something like that. But food, I had no problem. The only slight disadvantage is sometimes the budgies get, you know, too comfortable, let's say, and some of the seed shells stay inside, so it makes them makes me have to blow sometimes the seeds away. But that's still not something major, because, you know, they usually find it when there's no food. They usually find it that, you know, flicking the shells off makes the food come out. So they have learnt, you know, that picking from the bottom of the glass makes the food come out. So that's a big pro. I'm actually really happy with this. It's something that it was one of my biggest disadvantages of having, but I'm happy with it now. 1 month without refilling that is just a big goal, and I'm planning to get more. I'm planning to get rid of the chicken feeder, just cause, you know, it's a chicken feeder and it's not really meant for budgies. Whereas this seed hopper is actually made for budgies, directly made for canaries, finches, you know, cockatiels and all sorts, budgies, and I'm really happy with this. So I will get another 2 or 3, just to, you know, make sure I have 6 months without refilling the seed. So that's it for the feeding. Let's move on to the next one. So now talking about water and containers, that's something I want to try and fix. I want to try and get a fresh, constant supply of water without me filling it. I'm using right now a chicken watering or chicken water station, let's call it. I bought them today, so I'm going to try them out and see how it goes this week. Bit of fluff here, but yeah, as you can see, I did stick them up top, and the reason I did so is because if you stick a water bowl below it, it usually gets pooped on. So a lot of seed gets in the water, and which means you have to change it every day. This is the reason why I put my water bowls up top. It's because it stops them from being pooped on, and it also stops from seeds going in and feathers from going in. So that's a big advantage of me having, you know, 1 liter container of water for them, whereas here I didn't have space. I didn't really want to fill it up. I didn't really have space to put it, and it was on these guys right here. Let me show you. So I had, in my previous cage, I had it on this, and with these, it's stainless steel, which is cool. It's cool. I did use them a bit here, and it's cool. No stains, nothing. Nearly a year old, still doing me good. But I am going to keep them just in case of an emergency, just in case I have to separate birds for all sorts of reasons, I don't know. But these did me good. But the only disadvantage is that poop and the seed, which I had every day, let's say, because, you know, you're actually meant to change the water every day, and I recommend all your budgie keepers, canary keepers, finches keepers, you change your water every day. Imagine you having you know, a supply of water that, you know, it's only changed 1 week. How would you feel? So please change your water daily. whether you have budgies, canaries, or any animal deserves fresh water. And I do feed mine bottled water. I don't go with tap water because it's tap water, you know. I go with mineral water, so every day they have a fresh supply of mineral water. In hot days they have, you know, chilled supply, not too cold but not too warm. Usually room temperature is okay, but when it's really hot, because it does get hot in here, I usually give them a bit chilled water, which helps them cool down in hot days and just keeps them, you know, healthy. Mineral water is always good for your birds. So let's move on to my next point. So my next point is entertainment. So when I say entertainment, it's all to do with toys and, you know, making your budgies entertained, whilst also, you know, being in their, you know, forever home. So toys, I have quite a few toys in here, not a lot, because you don't want to overfill your budgie with perches and all sorts, otherwise they won't have any space to fly. So I do have a limited amount of toys which are changed every 6 months. Now the reason I do that is because budgies do get bored of the same thing. I do not just only toys, but I also do branches. So every 6 months my cage gets a new, you know, look to it, new setup to it, just so my budgies don't get bored. Now a bored budgie can, you know, cause aggression because they have nothing to do. You know, it can cause them to, you know, become annoying to other birds, let's say, can cause them to become sad, just because, you know, they have nothing to do. And if you have just one bird, I'd recommend, you know, keeping the change, keeping a little bit of new looks to your cage, just so your budgies doesn't get bored. So yeah, I change every 6 months, all to do with perches, toys, you know, moving around and all that. The branches I use is apple tree, so all natural branches. Some are synthetic, some are rope, which I don't have right now installed because I still, you know, the delivery is on its way. But I have a change every 6 months, and, you know, I do try to use natural stuff just because, you know, apple branches are, you know, it's safe for them to have a chew on and, you know, do all sorts. So I do also use a plant called, in Portuguese it's called louro. Louro is a bush that we use for food, and that's also safe budgies. I don't know the name in English, but it will appear on the screen down here. That's also safe. I have a big one just right there, and the rest are actually apples. So here I didn't look, as you can see, look right here. Let me record it so you can see me record. So right here, this is the branches I used to use. Let me just take this out. So, and it was limited, so if I put more, they didn't really have any space to fly around. Now I use it for like storage of wood and all that. But I will be getting some finches soon, because I want to try them out and see how they do. But let's not move on to topic. I don't want to get you guys excited. But yeah, I didn't really have a space to put, you know, a lot of branches here, because again, it would not allow them to, you know, get a bit of wing flaps and all that. That's a big advantage of having a flight cage like this one. They are happy. They chew on the branches, all sorts. They do their stuff, and they're living the best life, I can tell you that. You know, I've been to so my exhibition budgie, as you can see there, he was rescued. I call him a rescue because where he was a disgrace. Branches everywhere, no space to fly, a cage about this big with about 4 birds inside, 5 birds I think it was, yeah, 5 birds. No space, food was everywhere, dirty cage, no cage. Now I call it a rescue because people like that don't deserve to have birds, you know? People like that don't deserve to have pets. So I call it a rescue because I rescued him from a filthy place. Whereas now, look at him. He's a happy lad. He's a happy boy. And it makes me joy. It makes me filled with joy seeing birds that come out from people that have no experience and coming into a cage like this big, and you know, being so, oh, it's just the best thing ever. So that's a big pro. I love budgies. I just love them. Hope you guys enjoying this video. Subscribe if you're liking this kind of video. We'll probably do, you know, more in-depth video and all that, but we'll see. So let's jump a bit back. Let's talk about cleaning. So cleaning this cage is the most easiest thing ever. Now, it's easy, it's super easy compared to this one where you have to take the tray out and clean the floor and all that. Here, all the poop goes down, all the seed goes down. My feeders are all on the ground, which prevents the seeds from you know, jumping around out of the cage. If you have your feeders up on top, bad idea. Well, it's not a bad idea, but I wouldn't recommend it just because it makes a lot of mess. So when the budgies flick through the food, it causes the seed to jump. So seeds are you know, bouncy, so they jump around, and that's what causes you to have a big mess. And also the seeds, the shells of the seeds, when the budgies fly around, it goes up in the air, and that's what causes as well a lot of mess. Here I don't have this problem because I don't know if you can see, well, you can see on screen, thanks to the power of editing. I have a big plank of wood standing upright. I did this simply because I don't want seed coming out. So look at the floor here, it's clean compared to that side. Well, I did clean it today, but you know, there's still a bit of seed on the floor. And that's a big pro, meaning I don't have to clean the whole shed. I just have to clean that little side, so that's a big pro. Now guys, if you really enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. This is it, a bit of explanation. It's nothing wow, but it's also something like a big improvement to where they were. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Support this channel by subscribing. We want to hit the goal of 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year, if not more. So you guys subscribe, and bear with me. I mean, I'm not a professional. I'm still learning about budgies and birds, but that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed this idea of, you know, dividing your shed into two, half for the budgies and half for the storage and all sorts, please let me know in the comments below. I also want to know you guys from Facebook as well, you guys from Instagram as well. Please let me know, send me a message, DM, if you guys want to know more of how I built it, how I did my mesh, what kind of materials I used. Please let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There'll be another video next week, so you don't want to miss that. Hit that notification bell as well, so you are alerted when new videos come out. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye. God bless you all.